We are talking with Dave Golikoff, senior sports columnist from AskMen.com, and Scott Kellen from 6centsports.com, previewing Week 12 in the NFL here on the SBR TV NFL Experts Roundtable. All right, Dave, let's get into the three games that you wanted to talk about. Pretty interesting lines. The first one, Houston at Jacksonville. Now, this is Jacksonville's a 3.5-point home dog. Jacksonville obviously sucks. They were able to get a win against Indianapolis, but that means almost nothing. Then the next week, they couldn't even beat Cleveland. Texas, Matt Schaub is obviously out, so they're going to have a new quarterback here, but they've got a great running game. Their defense is good. They're coming off of a bye. Blaine Gabbert is struggling for Jacksonville overall. I think the Texans defense is probably going to be able to give them trouble. Their run defense is not very good, which plays right into Houston's strength. So overall, I'm looking at this line thinking that Houston minus 3.5 on the road coming off a bye is a little bit of a short line. I might buy down to 3 just to make myself feel a little bit safer. Is that how you see this game?
Not exactly. I don't have a side played for you. I actually like the under in this game. Very similar logic to what I said last week about San Francisco and Arizona. And really, if I just blindfolded you and I said over or under in this game, knowing that Matt Schaub is out, knowing that Blaine Gabbert throws better with his left hand or probably throws as accurately with his left hand as he does his right, I think most people would take the under in this game. So that's really what I'm going with. Houston, for them, the under has cashed 6 of the last 7 times off a bye. For Jacksonville, unders cashed 9 of their last 10 games overall. I think the Houston Texans are now going to have to rely on their defense to really carry them down the stretch of the season. And so I see a low-scoring game. Both quarterbacks might struggle in this game, and just not many points overall.
I hear you. I'm looking at this, though. I'm not sure because it's got a low total. The total has been bet down from 39.5 all the way down to 37.5. So obviously the market agreed with you, at least on the opening line. You still take them at 37.5?
Yeah, again, I mentioned this, I think, in one of our recent conversations, that not to be scared off by the numbers.
All right, Scott Kellen from 6centsports.com. I still would lean a little bit towards Houston because I think, Texas does have a great, Houston does have a great running game, and they might, be able to put up the points with their running game against Jacksonville's run D, and since the number is low, I'm not sure if I really like the under at this low of a number. What's your take on these lines?
I kind of agree with what he said. I make the number 37, but of course that number is going to have a bunch of Matt Schaub built into it as well, and obviously they're going to have to go to a different style now. I may take a wait and see on this to see what Leinart does, but the way I look at this game is Jacksonville does qualify in a turnover table situation that they have that's been very good over the years. Houston is about 2 yards away from qualifying in a very, very strong fundamental rushing situation that I have. So those situations, and even if I drop the parameters down on that by 2 yards so they qualify, that situation is excellent. So the situations kind of negate themselves in this game. I make the number Houston by 8.5. Again, that's with Schaub. Even if I took 4 points off for Schaub, there's still plenty of value there with Houston. And the Houston defense is really what's shining this year. And like you said, Peter, they're running the ball very well. So they should be able to move the ball on the ground, keep it somewhat conservative against Jacksonville. And Jacksonville's offense is anemic. They're absolutely terrible. As a matter of fact, just looking here, they have not scored over 17 points in any game other than scoring 20 at home against Cincinnati this year. So they're not going to score a bunch of points. We all know that. And Houston's defense in the last 4 games has given up 7, 14, 12, and 9. They do get Andre Johnson back this week, so that kind of helps negate the loss of Schaub a little bit. So I think the only way to look in this game is Houston and toward the under as well, because Jacksonville's not going to score. Houston's defense has been marvelous this year, and I think they'll come in with a somewhat conservative game plan to protect Leinart, not turn the ball over, run the ball down their throat, and get out of there with a victory. So I agree. Houston and the under is probably the way I would look.
Yeah, that sounds good. And sort of combining both of your points and analysis, I'm thinking that maybe the best bet might be just a Jacksonville team total under on 17.